Hello, everyone. This is Professor Stephen Thompson, and I would like to welcome you to Speech 1100 for the summer 2017 term. One thing that I need you to know right away as we start this summer 2017 term is that you've registered for either Speech NET05 or Speech NET10. And on your end, you registered for one of those individual sections. On the back side, on my digital online side, I have combined those two sections. So you're going to see in some of your documents and some of your syllabi that I have combined these two particular sections, and the deadlines are the same and the assignments are the same. Everything so that I can keep as organized as possible and make sure I can keep track of the 50 students that I have, 25 in each section. So I've combined a lot on my end. But realize if you're in section 05 or section 10 of Speech 1100 for summer 2017, you are in the right place. I am the right professor, and we are going to get you through this. This is going to be a very quick 5 weeks. And so it will fly by starting today, May 30th, and extending all the way until July 3rd. July 3rd is your last final deadline for the course, and then my grades are due after the 4th of July holiday. It will be a very fair but heavy workload, and the assignments, the objectives, everything is directed by our department outcomes and department objectives and our state of Illinois requirements. So that's what I use as many of the guiding ideas to create what happens in the course. This class is a fully online class, so please make sure that you know that right away, that you registered for a fully online course. We will have no class meetings. You will not come to campus at all. And so what that means is you have a lot more flexibility to complete this course on your time, in your schedule, but it is not easier. And I think that that's one of the misconceptions of an online course, is that because it's online, it might be easier. And in this case, I can guarantee you that as an online faculty member for the past 14 years, this online class is not easier than a face-to-face class. It is more flexible. It is designed differently. And so I want you to know that right off the bat. If you are highly apprehensive about giving presentations and you have anxiety about speeches, you need to realize you're still giving speeches. And you're still going to have to give them to an audience. You're not going to be just giving them to a camera and then submitting them. You are required by the state of Illinois to still have an audience. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay? But the principle that I'm really trying to hit home is flexibility is high, ease of course is not necessarily true. Okay, so one of the things that I want you to do as you get started here is I want to make sure that now that you've logged in, you start to browse through the course. I have everything open. I do not time release anything, so that if you want to look at different things, you can in the course. So feel free to browse around. You're going to want to make sure that you go up to the Start Here tab that's on the left-hand side and sign up for the Remind program so that you can get prompts when I submit new videos, or there's a reminder about a deadline for something. That's very helpful. You're going to want to make sure that you have your electronic textbook. Make sure that you purchase the code for that. Make sure you get that from either the bookstore at COD or you can go direct to the publisher, and that it's going to save you a few dollars, and that's another route that some of you may choose to go. But I really suggest going to the Syllabus and Schedule tab, printing out your syllabus, and printing out the schedule. So while most people really like to have things digitally, sometimes it's nice to have that hard copy, and you can see it and you can highlight on it, you can write notes on it. I would recommend printing out those two documents. It really kind of drives some things home when you start flipping through and reading some policies and due dates and what assignments are located where. But make sure you check out the syllabus and schedule. I also highly recommend in the announcement tab, which is the tab that every time you log in, this course opens up to. But in this announcement tab, there's a video that says Summer 2017 tutorial. And it's actually a video that I recorded last summer, and it was very helpful at that time, so I've reused it for a few of my classes. So you can ignore the fact that it says Summer 2016. What's important about it is that it really talks about how you do the modules, how you'll take the quizzes, and until I update the video or create a new one, it's just a helpful video to look at for how you would navigate different aspects of Learn Smart. In this class, you will have three core units and only 3 deadlines, and that's important for me to tell you. Unit 1 is due on June 11th, Unit 2, June 21st, Unit 3, July 3rd, which is our last day of the class. Everything that is in each unit is due on those specific days. And to keep that really organized and very clear, on the left side of Blackboard you will notice that I have 3 unit tabs. On the tab it tells you when that unit is due, and you can complete all the information there within. If you finish a unit early, I recommend going on to the next unit and starting to work ahead. Unit number 1 is the longest and heaviest unit, but it's getting started. It's getting into the class. So it's the beginning chapters, but it's also the chapters that help for the first speech. Pay very special attention to Chapter 10. Chapter 10 is very important for the success on your first grade on your first speech. And I'm giving you that clue and that hint now. I will remind you later, but pay special attention to Chapter 10. Again, as you poke around in the syllabus and schedule, and as you poke around in the different unit tabs, you will see what workload is in each of those units. Unit 1 is roughly 12 days long. I think Unit 2, which is the shortest unit, is 10 days. And Unit 3, which is in between the first 2 units in size, is a 12-day unit or something like that. But nonetheless, I think everyone has the capacity and the ability to be successful and complete everything for the course. The last thing that I really want to talk about, and I know that I've talked now for about 8.5, 9 minutes, is the speech aspect. This is a fully online class, and the public speaking or presentation aspect can be challenging. The state of Illinois dictates that when you take a fully online class, you must give 3 presentations at minimum. My presentations meet the minimum requirements for all 3 of those speeches when it comes to sources or length of speech. So you need to complete those 3 presentations. It's a state requirement. The state of Illinois also has 3 core criteria for submission. One, and the first one is that you have to record yourself in an unedited fashion. So they don't want you going into a iMovie or something of that nature and splicing different pieces of video together. Your video is supposed to be one continuous take of yourself. The second requirement is that you have to gather your own audience. It has to be 8 people or more, and they have to be 16 years of age or older. And that's important to remember. I will need to see them on your video. I will count them and such. So please make sure that you take care of that requirement. And then third, from the state, is you have to give your speech in a public place. For me, I try and be a little flexible with that. And my interpretation is you cannot give your speech inside your house. Okay? So I would recommend a few different places and some examples of some places that have been used in the past. Outdoor amphitheaters. We have one here at COD. Students have used that. There's an outdoor amphitheater area in downtown Naperville. That's another example someone's used before. Movie theaters, conference rooms, boardrooms, public libraries, classrooms. So if you're an out-of-state student taking this class at another university and you have the ability to go into a classroom, you can use that. If you're a College of DuPage student, you can just pick out an empty classroom on campus and use that. That's a possibility. But everybody's a little different. Some people have gone into their mom's elementary school classroom and filmed it there before, or they've gone into their dad's law firm or something and presented in their boardroom or their mock courtroom or whatever it might be. So you have the ability to really kind of think outside the box, but it has to be a public location. If you have a question about that, you can always ask me. Okay? All right. The biggest point for your success when it comes to your speeches is going to be prepare for them, plan this out, and submit early. You do not want to run into technical difficulties or difficulties with regard to your audience. The deadlines are hard deadlines, so I will not extend them. This is a 5-week course. We don't have time to keep pushing deadlines around like puzzle pieces and shifting them here or there. So remember, they're hard deadlines. Remember to plan early, get your audience set, figure out what friends, what family members, what classmates, what coworkers can help you out. And the more you think about that early and the more that you stay in contact with those people, the better off you're going to be. And then you want to make sure you're not submitting at the last minute. You're going to want to try and submit 24 hours in advance in case you have some technical problems. That's a great piece of advice. All right, 13-minute video. I apologize for the length. There's so much stuff to talk about. I will follow this up with some more videos in the next couple days, but it's important that you get started right away with the content in Chapter 1. Best of luck, and welcome to this summer course.